Welcome to Unpacked with Liat. Today I'm sitting with Tallie from TNT Wigs. She's a mom of 6 and she runs her own wig business here in LA. And I'm just so honored that you're here and I think we're going to have a great conversation.
I'm so excited. Thank you so much for
Yeah, of course. Thank you for coming. I know it's not easy you have to block off your schedule. So you have your own wig business here in LA. You have a salon and you're not from LA. So you came and you basically had to build your business from the ground up. You got married, you moved here for your husband. So tell us a little bit about that.
So I moved out here when I was 20. I was not planning on getting into wigs. It was just something that I did as a hobby to meet people as I was new here. I was actually in college for speech therapy. So I was going to SMC while having children and doing wash and sets on the side. So I had my first kid, second kid. Now my third child was on the way, and I had now transferred to Cal State University Northridge for their speech program. And that's when things got a little bit like the wig side of things was picking up.
Like, what year was this?
What year was this? Nissim was born in 2014. This
Okay.
was 2014.
So the wig industry was really picking up.
Yes.
Okay.
I was getting really busy with the washing sets. And then I was even playing around with like color. I was just having fun with it.
Right.
And it was just, and now I was taking 2 girls with me to the valley every day because I said to myself, I find a play group out there. At least I get to spend the car ride with them. And I was pregnant with my son, Nissim. And I said, I have to make a decision because either I'm doing the school or I'm doing the wigs. It's really hard to juggle both.
Right.
And I was like,
and you're not just juggling that, you're juggling married life and
Mom
2
life.
kids and being in a new community.
Work.
Right.
Like there was work that had to be done. I had tests. I was spending my weekends studying. Like
Right.
it was hard. I was, and I just had to make a decision. And I said, I'm not cut out for school.
Right.
As much as I thought I was, this is where my passion is. And this is what I really love doing. And I love the social interaction and I get to be creative. And so I switched, I put my heart and soul into it. And I was like, hey, this is what we're doing.
Right. So you were working out of like your home and
I worked out of back then I was living in a teeny apartment. Then we moved to a duplex and then I was working out of my house. And it was actually right after my son was born that I started bringing in my own wigs and started experimenting with that. So then it really, really took off. Like it became like serious stuff.
Right.
Um, yeah. And like, I've never looked back.
It's amazing. But also like it's not like you had somebody showing you the roadmap. You literally learned all of this on your own as trial and error.
Yeah, a lot of experimenting.
A lot of experimenting. I'm sure also a lot of investment and some loss as you're experimenting, and it's a risk in business. But I think it also takes a specific type of person. Like you're very ballsy, like sorry, this is the only word I could say, but like most people are more risk averse
Than to
leap in and take risks. And the security would be going for the speech therapy.
Right. And that's exactly why I told myself this is what I'm going to do because it was stable and
probably good hours, flexible, right?
Mom, and it was perfect.
Right.
And then first of all, when I decided to drop out, I was like a disappointment,
right,
because I wasn't finishing college.
Right.
But I guess all this time, I didn't really look at it like I'm taking a risk. Like I didn't think too much into it.
Right.
It was like I was just having fun as I was doing it.
Right.
You know what I mean? When the ombre was trending, I went out, I bought bleach and literally bleached my fall. I'm like, I just loved to play around with these things.
Right. Were you very sensory as a kid?
Was I sensory? No, I don't remember being sensory as a child.
Did you like hair? Did you like? I have a sensory child who like loves playing with slime, loves experimenting, like is always cutting her hair, like that kind of stuff. Like she's got like, I mean, you are like, she's like, there's some people who just have it and there's some people who don't. Like, I think you have like great fashion sense. You are like good at taking care of you're born with that.
So I loved art. Sensory, no. I could barely mix meatballs. Like I have to have gloves on.
Right.
So to get my hands dirty, no. But I loved art. I was always very creative. So the creative side in me was always there. So that part of experimenting was always so much fun.
Okay. So you were like filling that side of you. It didn't feel like work.
Not at all. And I loved, people would come in and be like, could you fix a clip? And then like so many times could I say, I don't know how to sew.
Right.
So I told myself, okay, we're not going to continue like this. I went on YouTube and I watched videos on how to sew. And that's how I learned how to sew.
Sewing class, you never went to cosmetology school?
I tried to get a cosmetology license.
Okay.
But then I was like, what am I doing here?
Because you were already working in it.
Yeah. I was just doing everybody else's hair. And I'm like, I couldn't.
So when you first started out doing wash and sets, how did you get clients?
I guess it started with family members. And then this one told that person. And back then there was no Instagram. Maybe we put an ad on Hillygram.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I had business cards and my husband was my biggest fan. So he would, shamelessly go out there. Do you know my wife? Meanwhile, I wanted to kick him under the table.
Right.
Thank God for that because I'm so not that type.
Right.
But he would just hand out those business cards that I ordered at Vistaprint.
Oh, I remember Vistaprint. Yeah.
And then literally word of mouth. This person told that person, told this person, and that's kind of how it took off.
So then you moved from your apartment to a duplex to your house, and then you started ordering your own wigs and creating your own line.
Yes.
And then you moved into your salon.
No, I moved actually a few more times from that.
Okay.
My OG clients will know because they've followed me along.
Okay. I only know the house before the salon.
So from there, we moved to another house where I worked out of a bedroom. Then I moved to the house on Sherborne where we had the back house. Were you ever there?
No.
And then from there to the garage. And then once I made it to the garage, my husband was like, okay, nobody wants to buy a wig out of the garage, Tallie, and you got to get out of here. So he really pushed me to get the salon. And I was joking with him. And I'm like, dude, I don't think my clients care. They're so happy to come to the garage. He's like, no, you got to go.
Right.
And it was Erev Rosh Hashanah that I signed a lease for the salon. And I just closed my eyes and I just did it. And I said, what's the worst that could happen?
Right.
Again, I didn't think too much about it.
Right.
So what's the worst? It's a 1-year lease. I'll close it if I can't handle it.
And how many years has it been?
2.5 years.
Also, I like that you said that you didn't think too much about it because when you do, you're not going to do it. When people are asking me, I heard you started a podcast. What's it about? I'm like, I don't know. I just talk to people, They're like, what's the vision? I'm like, I don't know. What do you mean? You can't just start a podcast? I'm like, no, you don't understand. I work backwards. I jump in, then I buy the equipment that I need once I say I'm serious about it. Then, I was like, I asked all the people before I even had a name for my podcast. I was just like, hey, Tallie, can you be on my podcast? Sure. Because I knew that this was something that I needed to be doing, but also if I thought too much about it and got stuck on the bio and the tech of things, and I wouldn't do it. So I love that you said that.
Yeah, and I think that goes with everything. And even people say people reach out about posting on Instagram. Just post.
Right.
And it'll be
It's exhausting though.
It's exhausting, but not everything has to be perfect. You think everybody else has it together?
No.
Everybody else has a rhyme and a reason. You just got to get out there.
Right. And I think you're very good at that. You are very on Instagram.
Thank you. It's fun. It's a lot of work, but it's also nice to give people a glimpse of what I do.
Right.
Bringing them in. Or it's funny because I rewatch my reels. I'm I get amazed every time. Oh my God, look at that hair. It's so good. We laugh and my girls laugh at me.
Right.
Does anyone else get that excited? But you know what? It makes me happy.
Right. So you're the type of person to rewatch your videos. I really enjoy this and the guests that I've had so far because it's real, honest conversations. And I think maybe that's why I have an issue with Instagram is it's not real.
No, it's not real.
When you're showing your business, it's real. But when people are on their private pages and showing their lives, I'm not saying that glimmer into what they're showing isn't real, but there's some part of it that's polished.
Of course, even my reels are polished. You're only getting a glimpse of a smile, a glimpse of a pretty wig belly.
You're not gonna.
You don't see all the other stuff that I.
Right, I'm sure you get DMs or clients that are flustered or whatever, and how you handle you're not going to put that out.
It's stolen.
Right.
I mean,
or you get broken into.
Or you exactly, or all the other, thousands of dollars I spent on barring up the place. All of that you don't see,
Right.
What I mean?
Right. But I feel I personally am a bit I don't do fake. So I think that's very hard for me to come onto my page because when I see that it's just not, the words aren't flowing, I'm not posting because it's not about everybody's always like, you have to post in consistency and to get followers. And it's not about that. Like, if you're meant to find me, you'll find me. You'll find my content relatable. We could talk about it. I could, but it's not that. Like, if the message isn't coming through that way and like it feels performed, it doesn't feel right, I won't do it.
That's who you are.
Right.
And that's what you seek when you go on Instagram.
Right.
But I try to remind myself that when I'm going on into Instagram, I'm really, it's more for fun. It's on the surface. Pretty much everything you're seeing, or a lot of what you're seeing, is not really the way that it seems.
No, for sure. And I think it's different. It's not your personal, it is a combo, actually.
It's to just scroll for fun.
Right.
I feel like we need to just remind ourselves that this is just
like you do share some of your like family life and you do share, but 90% of it, Molly,
like some real tantrums.
Yeah. Why didn't you do it with sound? But I think that like, I don't know. I think that finding the balance, and there's definitely been people that like I've unfollowed.
It needs to serve you well.
Because I'm just like, why? Like, it's just like, why am I following Khloe Kardashian or Kim Kardashian? Like, it's great. I love them. I love watching the Kardashians, but like their lifestyle is not achievable for me. I mean, maybe, who knows, Hashem, you got different plans for me, but like,
so it's got to serve you well.
And I'm just like, it's just not, like there's just so much noise already, even with the people that I follow and are in my life, whether I'm close to them or distance, but we have something to do with each other. Like, I don't need more.
I'm with you. If it doesn't serve you well, if it doesn't make you happy, then it doesn't need to be there.
Right.
And it's so easy. It's a click of a button.
I know, but you know what? We get in our heads because we're like, oh, they're going to see that I unfollowed them. They're going to see that I left the WhatsApp chat. They're going to see that I,
Then that's another level of you.
Right.
Of you like letting that go.
Right. There's so many WhatsApp chats that like, I can't. A lot of mine are just muted. But like, I'm also so type A that like, if I have notifications, like I cannot leave those notifications on my phone. I have to clear the notifications.
Oh, you should. My emails with Mickey.
Lenny's phone makes me crazy. I can't.
50,000.
No. His phone makes me crazy. Like every app has like 45 notifications. And I'm like,
and I don't look the type.
I'm like
the OCD.
Right. I'm like, how do you go to bed at night?
Oh my God.
I'm like, is this not ruminating in your head all night long?
Space in my brain.
Oh my God.
My muted chats have maybe like 150 messages unread.
I can't.
Yeah.
That's so bad. Okay, so take it back to, so Yehuda told you, which is really cool that he's the one that's like egging you on to do it.
Yeah.
He told you to go get the salon.
We did. Actually, I decided, I was like, okay, we got to stay in the area. So we were looking on 3rd Street, and then thank God this place kind of just fell into my lap.
Wow.
And again, it was Erev Rosh Hashanah. It was like a crazy time. I didn't really have much time to think about it.
Right.
But again, I said to myself, like, what's the worst that could happen?
Right.
What's the worst that could happen? Like, if I can't pay my rent, God forbid, okay, so I'll close the store. I'll go back to the garage. Again, to me, like, my clients were happy coming to my garage.
But also, you had that confidence of already establishing more than the customer or client base, the relationships with the clients.
Yeah.
Because I'll tell you from me, when I really came to you was when I got a wig from somebody else. And I messaged you, Tallie, I'm looking to buy this wig. I have wig phobia. And you looked at it and you're like, okay, you could do this. And you took on the work. And you're like, I don't normally do this, but I'll do it. And you did. And even when I came into your store multiple times, like I'm the one who's taking like 15 wigs off the rack. And I'm like, oh my God, this is mine. How do I need it? You're like, it's all good. Like no pressure. Like there really wasn't that push. And I think that's what really allowed me to gravitate toward you. And you're very real. You're not someone who's gonna upsell me or whatever. Like if the cheaper wig looks good on me, you're gonna tell me take the cheaper wig. Yeah. Which you have, which is crazy because then your profit is less or you're right. But it's not about,
it's more than that.
It's more than that.
100%.
Because you know that 1 inch less or those 3 inches less is going to make me feel so much better. And that's how you want me to walk out. Not because even if I walk out with that, I don't think you would feel good.
No, I wouldn't.
Right. Right.
And it's so much more than making the sale.
Right.
I always joke, like my clients are all my friends because it's becomes a relationship.
Right.
I tell clients all the time, when you leave my store, it's not goodbye and I'll never see you again.
Right.
We're in a relationship now.
Right.
If there's any issues, if it needs tune-ups, like you need to talk to me. We need to communicate.
Right.
I'm going to see you again. And like, we're in this. Like, I'm going to help you through the struggles. If there are struggles, if they're not, that's great.
Right.
But you're not on your own.
Right.
You're not doing this.
So how do you handle those relationships? Because thank God you have a lot of clients. How do you handle those relationships? Because there are people that I'm sure you feel closer to in terms of clients, and there are people that really do just kind of come in, buy their wig, everything's fine, and then that in a few years when they need another one, they come back in.
It's also such a compliment. Like, there's nothing better than a client coming back for their second piece.
Right.
Which means they did something right the first time.
Right.
You know? And I mean, I really do love it.
Right.
I really do enjoy what I do. And you know what? This is going to sound crazy, but I love diagnosing. Like, if I could sit and just do repairs all day long, I would.
Right.
Like, that was really fun for me. Like,
To learn how to do all the repairs.
Repairs back, like, that's what I would spend most of my time on, was just on repairs. And even now, it's like, it's not enough to know how to do the repair, but it takes a certain skill to be able to look at a wig. If somebody comes in with an issue, for you to be able to diagnose and tell them, okay, we need to do this, that, the other.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
I know, because I was one of those people.
right. And if you want to wear your wig a certain way and you're like, why doesn't it
Right.
look right?
Right.
And it's something so simple as, okay, let's take the lining out, which we did, right? Where your hair flip.
Right.
But you got to be able to spot the problem.
Right. And it's so funny because a lot of times when people see me in my wigs, they're like, where did you get them? I'm like, Tallie. They're like, that's not Tallie's work. I'm like, yes, it is. And they're like, no. I'm like, guys, lift up the nape, look at the tag. It says TNT by Tallie. And like, I have to convince them that it's you because I don't have the typical wig look because I do the part. And it's like somebody actually came up to me one day. She bumped into me and she's like, I saw your story or I saw Tallie post you. And I walked in afterwards and I said, give me the Liat part. And I was like, oh, I'm so honored. Like I made it, you know?
Because you're not the typical, straight down center. Listen, I wear a very polished look and it works for me.
Right.
But for you who wanted something different, like, we can deliver.
Right. You could do anything. And I think that's where like your creativity shines because you're not stuck in the middle part, you know?
Oh, and if this is your lifestyle and you need your wig to function like this, or again, like something so simple like wearing glasses uncomfortable with your wig and taking out ear tabs, people don't realize.
Right. There's a solution.
I tell clients all the time, there is a solution to everything.
Right.
You just got to tell me.
People feel scared, right? Like it's like
or hopeless.
Hopeless maybe because they've gone to so many other places. I was definitely a hopeless case that came to you.
Yeah.
And it was like a last resort. And I'm like, whatever, she's not going to be able to help me, but like, at least I tried.
Right.
And I was so wrong. But I think that also like, they don't want to hurt your feelings. They don't want to tell you like, Tallie, it's not sitting right. Or Tallie, it doesn't feel right. Or Tallie.
I don't get insulted. It's not me.
Right.
If you don't tell me, I won't know.
Right. And I think that you understand that like if sometimes it's manufactured in a way that just sometimes a medium is a medium and sometimes a medium is a small. Like it just happens that way. And it depends on, I'm sure, between the texture of hair, between the color of hair, between virgin hair, processed, whatever it is, like it could vary and these things could be clear errors that you need to communicate.
And I say it all the time, no two wigs are the same, even if they're the same on paper.
Right.
So if one feels one way, one feels the other way, and they're both a medium and they're both a dark brown, it could be that they won't feel the same or on your head or in texture, whatever.
Right. Also the same way that like it might look much longer on me and short on somebody else because it depends, right? Everybody's body's different and the way that their head carries the wig and it's so, yeah.
The way that it sits, And another thing I always say is that a wig is like a gown. It's going to take a few fittings for it to be perfect.
Right.
I love it when people come back.
Right.
It's very, very unusual for someone to come, pick a wig, and take it home the same day. It doesn't exist nowadays.
Right.
It's so different. We're not in the days of the silk tops where that used to be the case.
Right.
It's a much, much different experience.
Right. But I'm sure with lace, when lace came out, you had to learn a whole other beast.
First, I was wondering to myself, is this going to stay or go? Because trends always come and go.
Right.
You're just not sure.
Right.
So 2020, the lace tops were coming out. There was all the rage. And I said, okay, like we just were watching it from afar. Is it going to stay? Like what's going to be? And then like it was really picking up. It was really, really picking up. And slowly, slowly we learned along the way. Okay. Whether it was like we learned about the bleaching and then the lighter hairs in the front and clean hairlines, all these things you learn as you go. But you gotta be willing to
learn. Right.
and you gotta be willing to evolve with the times.
Right.
If not, you're not.
But how do you stay current? Like, is there like a national like wig chat that like for all the shit? Like, how do you stay current? Like, you know that lace tops are coming out. Like, how do you find that out?
You know, a lot of staying current is listening to other people, listening to them when they're sitting in your chair, listening to what's happening, what's going on, conversation.
Yeah, I think so. Right. Yeah, and I guess that's relevant to everything. You know, if there's
You
a
need to be open-minded.
right, if
Right.
there's a trend going
You
on,
need to be open to it.
right,
If you're stuck and you don't want to absorb more information, you won't.
right. And there are people that still wear skin tops and they love it. They love it more than lace.
For sure. And there are some times where I'll tell you, go get a skin top. But even staying current could just also be like learning new tricks of the trade.
Right. So first it was skin tops, then it was lace front, and then it went to lace top.
Right. And then you have with the lace top era, you had the deep lace.
Right.
Versus just like a little teeny bit of lace.
Right.
Yeah, you got to keep up.
Right.
You know?
No, it's
Or
crazy.
the lace front headbands. Do you remember those?
I have one sitting in my closet that I don't touch.
There you go.
So itchy.
They are.
They are itchy and I'm very sensory.
Yeah.
So yeah. So take me through a typical day of what it looks like being a wife, a mom of 6, and a business owner.
Should I start from the beginning?
From the beginning.
Okay, so my alarm usually goes off at 4:35, but usually at the gym by 5, home by 6. But it's so nice. I know people tell me I'm crazy, and I hear it all the time. But as a mom of 6 kids, thank God, that 6 to 7 hour day is so nice. It's my time. I can sit down. I can have a cup of coffee. I can have my breakfast. I get dressed in peace. I do my makeup. I get ready for work. I pack up lunches if I need to, but that's my time. By 7, the kids are starting to wake up already. Everyone's getting ready for school, and I'm out the door with all the kids, dropping them off, and then I'm going straight to work. Usually make it to work around like 8:45.
Okay.
And I'm at the salon 9 to 2, 2:30 sometimes. By 3:15, like I'm back to doing pickups. I usually have dinner prepped within that time, morning time. Like I know what I'm going to serve.
Okay.
So that I don't come home and there's chaos in the house.
Right. So when between 6 and 7 a.m., you're already thinking about dinner.
Yeah, dinner's prepared. Whether I have it arranged with Severine from the Fashion Bistro, or I have leftovers, or I defrosted something, but something's been arranged.
Okay.
And then pickups, and then that's it. It's like there's no more work mode. I'm a mom now, and there's homework, there's dinner, there's chaos, and then cleaning up after dinner, shower, sleeps, and then do it all over again.
Right. But your phone doesn't stop.
No, my phone does not stop, which is very hard.
So how do you manage that?
I transitioned from a work phone to a personal phone.
Okay.
Which makes it easier for me to just put the work phone away.
Okay.
And then I don't have to, after a certain time, I don't have to respond right away.
So the number that we message TNT Wigs, that used to be your personal and your work.
Correct.
And now you just got your personal number.
The personal number.
And whoever needs you, like your kids, your husband.
Exactly.
They have it. And whoever else is like non-essential.
Exactly.
Right. That's amazing.
But such a move.
Right. Because then you could just put that phone away. It could be in your drawer.
You don't have to look at it.
You don't have to look at it.
You could catch up on messages.
But when a friend is texting you and at the same time you're getting 14 texts for TNT.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It's just a trap. Like you can't not fall into it.
Right.
And you see a difference now.
And it takes away from the kids also.
Right.
It's nice because I forget the work phone exists.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then when I come back to it and I see a bazillion messages, it's fine. But at least I had that 1 hour piece where I forgot about it.
Right. And you really could focus on your kids.
Yeah.
Because that's what they need. Like you have your time to be in the salon, to do your work.
I give it my all when it's that time. But then when it's time to be with the kids, like it's their time. So that's been a game changer.
Right. You are like the number one cheerleader of all Jewish businesses. Oh. You really are. Like you come to my house for Sukkot, you bring a cake, you're like, it's this woman, and like, whatever. Like you're like, Fashion Bistro or this, like, like, and the people who like are working out of like a street corner that like nobody knows of, but like you are number one supporter of Jewish businesses.
Thank you.
I think it's beautiful. Do you think that it comes from a place of also being a business owner and knowing how much work and effort goes into building?
That I would say for sure, because you know how much work goes into it. You know how much effort it takes. And it's so nice when people see and appreciate and support. And I would say, secondly, I really do, it fills my cup to see other people thrive. Like it really brings me joy. Like even when you were telling me before this all started, right?
Right.
Just about posting on Instagram, Leah. And I was like,
You were like my number one
better.
supporter. Right.
Yeah. And then when I see your face, like I get so excited.
Right.
You know, it really makes me happy.
But I think that comes from a sense of fulfillment. You're not threatened by other people's.
But also you have to have emunah in Hashem.
Yes.
No, really have.
I'm not talking about like another wig company opening up a wig brand. Yeah, because you believe that your parnasa comes from Hashem and it's not tied to you, and you believe that like there's enough to go around.
And that I think that everybody brings something different to the table, right? And we all have a different energy, and everybody should go to the person that they feel comfortable or who they think could take them to the finish line. Because really, at the end of the day, it's about covering your hair. Yeah.
Yeah.
So really, who cares? I'm so happy that you're covering. Like when you brought me a wig, right? This goes back to you bringing me a wig that you didn't buy for me. Imagine if I said, no, I can't help you.
Right.
You wouldn't have worn the wig.
Right.
In the end of the, like, I want you to cover your hair.
Right.
That's the bottom line. And selfishly, I'm like, okay, I get this.
I don't think that's selfishly. I think that's
Like, there's a bigger picture.
There's a bigger picture. Like when you share things with the world, right? Like the Lubavitcher Rebbe says, you have a talent. It's not yours to gatekeep. It's your responsibility to share that with the world. So I don't think it's selfish to say you take the swoop for it. You should, because you're sharing your talent with the world and you're making women feel beautiful. And I was actually listening to Human and Holy. Ellie Moore Reisman was on Human and Holy, and she said something that stuck with me. She said, I believe that women making themselves feel beautiful is a mitzvah, whatever that means. If that means that somebody is getting Botox, if that means that they're getting 15 piercings, if that means that they do microblading or whatever it is, they get their pedicure, their manicure. Why? Because when you feel beautiful, then you act beautiful.
You can pass it on.
And you can pass it on to others. And so I think that you should. It's not selfish. Like you are making women feel beautiful. You're changing the wig industry. You're making it easier for people to cover. And I think that also like the no judgment, when people come for topper or a kippah fall or and they pull their hair out or they do that, like you're just there to support, like, and you could get stuck. People can get stuck. Some sheitel machers do get stuck, and like this is the halacha of covering your hair.
I'm just so happy.
But like, isn't it better that they cover 3/4 of their hair than not at all?
Like, I feel like the fact that you walked in through my door is the biggest step of all. You came here today, which means that you had something in you that told you, I want to do this.
Right.
So, and I look at it like an honor. Like I tell people, I'm like, are you kidding? I'm so honored that you chose me.
Right.
Because this is such a personal journey.
Right.
And it's not stam. And the fact that I'm here with you, it's incredible.
I think it's a hard journey also. And I think that hair covering in any way, if you exclusively cover with a mitpachat or you exclusively cover with a wig or you do some 3/4, that like it's hard. It's hard. And I think it's harder in LA, where I'm going to say something controversial and it's going to ruffle some feathers, but where taking off your hair covering has become very normalized. Beyond that, we have such a big melting pot in our community.
All different paths.
All different paths. There's not one specific shul that I feel like, maybe the shuls that I go to, but like it's just this type. Right. No, it's such a big mix. And so I think you really have to know yourself and you really have to be aware of like, what is my hard line of where I'm covering my hair if I'm not covering my hair. But there's such a big mix that I think it's hard to stay covering your hair. And when you can do it with a wig that doesn't feel like anything on your head. Right, you could do it with a wig that makes you feel beautiful. You could do it with a wig that somewhat resembles your natural hair. Because before this, like, it was just straight. And I was like, okay, it looks great. Looks like I straightened my hair in high school. It's great. But like, I didn't feel like myself. And so when you're able to give that back to people, I think it's so beautiful.
Oh, yeah. Are you kidding? I had a client who was covering, and then went through a phase of her life where, she was not doing this anymore. Tried, but like it was uncomfortable. And she just like, I'm not doing this anymore. And then her friends would come and go and they would get wigs and I would always ask about her and I'm like, how's she doing? Let's get her in here. Like it's not as scary as it was. The wig world has changed. Like, we'll figure it out. You know what I mean? Like I love a project. I'm like, just bring her back in here. Her wigs were never from me.
Okay.
She was always struggling with wigs.
Okay.
And then her friends would laugh and they'd be like, you are not getting her in here. It's just not happening. And then one day she came into my store.
Wow.
Okay. And to me, I was like, I don't care if we even put like just a weft on your head. The fact that you're here today, you get schar for that.
Right.
That's a big step.
Right.
And like, I was so touched. So she came in and she got a piece and we played with it. We played with it a lot. Okay. And we put combs and we took out combs and we put in clips and we took out clips. And then one day she felt itchy down here and then we figured it out. We're like, okay, we're going to sew this fabric in. We're going to make it feel better on your head. We've played with it, but like we did it together and she's thinking about coming in for her second piece.
That's amazing.
It's amazing.
But going back to it, I think it's because it's the no judgment and like the open-mindedness that you were talking about earlier, that flexibility, that it doesn't have to be rigid. Like you don't have to cover all of your hair. If you want to cover some of it, if you want to do it with a ponytail, if you want to do
if you want to wear pants and cover your hair.
Right. If you want to wear a tank top and cover your hair, like
two separate weeks.
Right. And I think that that's a beautiful thing that our world, like our generation, is transitioning to, because in the way that we were raised, it was all or nothing.
Yeah.
You either do it or you do it right. Right. You either do it and you do it right, or you don't do it at all because it looks like a joke. Or you either you keep kosher or you don't keep kosher. There's no middle ground. Like, at least the way that I was raised. Like it was like, what does it mean? Like they don't eat out kosher meat, but like they eat kosher style. And I'm like, you got to give credit for something, Most people don't work in the way of that harshness. They need the non-judgment. They need the positive reinforcement of like, you're so amazing. You're so good for doing what you do.
Gives me so much joy.
Yeah.
I just started carrying in the store. Rebecca actually made them for me. They're Shechianu cards.
Beautiful.
Because recently we've had so many women come in for their first wig and they say Shechianu in the store.
That's so beautiful.
Oh my gosh, it's literally like a baby every time I start crying.
Wow.
But like it's mamash, it's a zchut. Like I feel so blessed that like this is what I get to.
And I think that's partly why like you have people flock to you and Baruch Hashem you're successful, is because you view it as you fulfilling your potential. Like this is your shlichut. Like Lenny always says, there's some people who are born to be Chabad rabbis and shlichim and like open up Chabad houses. Like I was born to have a kasita and do my shlichut through food and influence people in that way.
100%.
And you were born to influence people in this way and bring more people closer to covering their hair.
Thank you.
Yeah. So what would you say to somebody who's starting out, whether motherhood, being a wife, and entrepreneurship, some lessons that you've learned along the way or some wisdom that you want to impart on them from your journey?
Like, don't be so hard on yourself. I know it's hard to see sometimes when you're in it and you think you're not doing enough. You're doing amazing. Don't give up. Just keep going, And then it's funny, right? It's always the moments where you're like, you tell yourself, okay, like maybe I'm just not cut out for this. And then like Hashem makes someone send you a really nice text message like that minute.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my gosh, I just want you to know I wore my wig out today and I felt amazing. I'm like, okay, I got to keep going.
Right.
I just just keep going.
Right.
You know what? It's always better to be busy than not.
Yeah. Yeah.
So don't overthink it. Keep going. And if it makes you happy, then there's no reason to stop.
Having too much time on your hands is dangerous.
It's
dangerous. Like as much as juggling that is going on right now with all of my new ventures, like it's good for me. Like it's not good for me to just, not saying just, but to just be a mom, to just be, it's not good for me.
No, it's, and
there's too much time. Yeah, there's too much time in the day that like you have pockets of time. Like, okay, I made dinner. I went to the grocery store. I played with the baby. Now I have time to but then beyond that, you're like, this is too crazy. Like this is, it's not, I need to be doing more. I need to do it. And then, but yeah, like when you find that passion of yours, it really is a bracha.
You just got to go for it.
Yeah. Don't be scared.
Don't be scared.
Don't be scared. Don't overthink it.
And yourself that most people don't know what they're just.
Right.
We're all just figuring it out.
And some people look better figuring it out
than others.
and that's okay.
It's important to cheer people on.
Right.
Because everyone needs it.
Right.
Everyone needs a cheer here and there.
Right. Everybody needs it. And also, you never know the struggles that somebody went through to get to where they are,
1,000%.
even if they're half a step ahead of you.
Mm-hmm.
They had to go through something. What you said of when you start doubting yourself, all of a sudden Abby jumped into my head, because that's literally what she says is when you start doubting and you're like in that transition phase of labor, and she's you start saying I don't know why I thought this was a good idea. She's like, you're almost there. You're getting there and you're almost done. And the hard part isn't over, but it's almost over. And I think that we really just have to remember that of it really is growing pains. There really is, in some ways, the similarity of it's rebirth, because who you were yesterday before you went through this challenge is a different person than you are today. Going through that challenge, going through that growth, the connections that you make, the people that come through your store, the stories that you hear, the chizuk that the people sitting in your chair might think, oh, I'm just rambling, but they don't know. Maybe you need to hear that today. And I think that's, and you also don't know sometimes how you've affected people or how you've cheered them on. And I think that you really are everybody's number one cheerleader. But I think that also the having that focus and having that mindset is what allows you to really be able to impact people and their lives. And I think just keep doing amazing things.
I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Tallie. Thank you for coming. It was so fun.
This was fun.